Good morning. I awoke at this hour of stillness here, 3 a.m. So, as it is my practice to rise before dawn, this is before dawn. In fact, my friends, wherever you are, it is always before dawn. Dawn is happening and moving across the planet as we speak. Here, where I am, where am I? Okay, right there. It is, no, that can't be right. That's Africa. What is this over here? Somewhere. Anyway, I'm in the dark somewhere. India, it's 3 p.m. My friend in Korea is at, okay, here's where I am. I'm over here. I just couldn't recognize that as America, but that's the gist of it. And my friend in Seoul is right here, where it is 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow we have set up a meeting for the old gang to get together. Those of us who once lived in a place called Mobile, Alabama, and meditated there together. Now we are scattered all over the world, really. Most of us are still here in America. So it will be on at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern, and on, as time spreads around the world through its many zones. I like being in the central zone. Not that I'm in the central region or anything, but at least I'm in the central zone. So 3:59, 07, 8, 9, 10, 11 at this moment. It will soon be 4 a.m. and it's 4:51 into this from me to you number 11 Agondo. I'll put it up there. Put it out there. So it may be found, this moment in time. How you like my latest arrangement? I got my master, Charigi. I got Thoreau for some reason. I don't know why he's up there. And of course, Babaji with his hookah. And me with my pipe that I've smoked for 51 years. I've been smoking pipes. I just figured out I've been meditating. I started meditating 44 years ago. It was a joke I once told Master. Guy goes to heaven, and gets there and said, "Oh, we're so glad to see you. But tell us, we know you've really lived a good life and everything, but this meditating, why'd you spend so much time doing that?" Master said, "Well, clock, I would answer, because it was my joy." Master got the joke. He just turned it around like he does everything. I talked to him. I hear from him. Lalaji you don't see, because I only have one picture of our Adi Guru, our first Guru, our founder, back in the midst of time. He took Mahasamadhi, Lalaji did, in, I think, 1933. And it was coming together, people doing this thing of ours. Lalaji said, go to temple. He lived in a little town called Fatagar. I've been there a couple of times. He was a Sufi, although his master would not permit him to convert from Hinduism to Islam. So he remained Hindu. Now Babaji came along, and he never got to spend loads of time with his guru, who was just 100 miles away in his town of Fatagar. Babaji was born in a little town called Shahjahanpur. And so when Lalaji, as they say in India, took Maha Samadhi, the great Samadhi, entered into that zone, that dimension, we all evaporated and live and dwell in. I'm convinced, like Jane Goodall said, my she says, I'm 93. My next great adventure will be death. She just died recently, so she's there. And she said then, while she was still here with us, at death, there's either something or there's nothing. Pretty much states it for everybody, doesn't it? No matter what you believe, there's either something or there's nothing after death. Nobody can say for sure. And Chara used to joke about that. He said to Babaji, if I get to the brighter world, Babaji called it the brighter world. He had his own unique language for everything. The center, the source. Center is everywhere. The circumference is nowhere. Weigh that one, beloved. He said, when I get there, if none of this is so, I'm gonna come haunt you. Even the master was able to joke. Hey, we don't know. It's an honest answer. You may have visions. You may go into meditation and all of a sudden, as it does for the one guy at Buddha on the gas pump, he just goes regularly to these different dimensions and comes back and says, okay, here's the dimensions, what they're like. And boy, I tell you, it sounds great. You know, boom, you think and you're there. And the higher dimensions are more focused and realized and splendid. And people are just moving around in their dimension, zipping here and zipping there. He would go and just hang out there and take notes and come back and say, okay, here's what I found out. Real humble guy. I think he was from Finland or something. You can look him up. Buddha at the gas pump. BATGAP. Rick Archer. Wonderful job. Interviewing. He's as interesting as any guest. So, 3 a.m. thoughts after meditation for 33 minutes and 33 seconds minimum. An hour maximum. It is now, by that clock, which is a few seconds slow. No, it's 4:08:23 a.m. Central Standard Time. Here. Now. Be here. Now. 3 simple words for you, brother and sister, from Ram Dass to all of us. But here, now, at New Orleans, in this apartment, is here. Now is right this minute, right this second. 4:09:22, 23. It's always changing. How easy is it to be here now? It is easy. The mind spins around and we get up. What? Oh, I'm thinking this. You know, you just come back. Take one breath. And reset. Here. Inhale. Here. Exhale. Down. And then feel your shoulders drop, your jaw relax. And then move on with what you got to do. You know, in Japan they have the word, I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's called Zanshin. And I'm told it means remaining mind. So when you do that breath, one breath, when you end something that you're doing and you're about to start doing something new. Zanshin. Clear the remaining mind out. And then go to the gas pump. Go to the laundry. Go wash the dishes, whatever you got. And then do it consciously. 17 minutes. I'm going to run a little long this time. I don't know how long they give me on YouTube yet, but I think they give me a little longer than I thought. So we'll try. Where was I? Zanshin, the brighter world. My teachers, you know, to call them masters in the West, it's kind of a point of opprobrium, as Charji pointed out. He didn't like being called master because, you know, people get so hung up on that. Okay, teacher. Guy. I like teacher. I used to work as a school teacher. Loved it. So, you know, call him my teacher. In my heart, he's my master. I love that old guru-disciple, master-apprentice tradition. In the West, master-apprentice, you would go out, you want to learn the trade, go sit with the best there is, and he doesn't pay you. He just gives you the gift of how to do it, how to paint beautiful letters and calligraphy, how to make a sword, how to make clothes, whatever he's the master of. Guru, you know, that gets, in the South we say G-O-O-R-O-O. Guru. But in India it means a dispeller of darkness, I believe. Guru. But that's another big word. Guru, master. And you know, all the honorifics can get in there. Lalaji Maharaj, Maharaj, Big King, Babaji Maharaj. Oh, they've got lots of them. They'll string on. All of that kind of stuff gets into borders on becoming dangerous when you attach lots of, you know, letters, PhD, MD, MA, Mahadev. Oh, I don't know what else. I can't remember now. We like to say Babaji came up with this new way of gathering and focusing. The ancient meditation traditions of Raja Yoga, Patanjali's king of yoga, is that Ashtanga, the Eightfold Path, you know, starting with, you know, Yama, Niyama, all of that stuff, you know. First you got to get it together, and then you get up to around 7, which is meditating. So Babaji says, well, we're just going to start right there. Whether Patanjali considered it as a letter is a ladder. You know, go here, you go here, you go here, and then you go, and you get up to meditation, and then you get up to absorption. I think they call it dhyana. And then you get up to samadhi. And then, well, they say there's a state beyond even samadhi. It's called a turiya state. Ooh. I don't want to say I'm not there because just in case I am. Thanks, Mr. Monk, who made that joke. When I first started meditating in San Francisco, at the San Francisco City Center, Reb Anderson was the shot caller there. Then there'd been a big mess about Richard Baker, who was fooling around with some of the female monks. Big mistake. It really upset the hell out of people. Because he was the Dharma heir of Suzuki Roshi. And Suzuki Roshi, you know, Zen mind, beginner's mind. He brought Buddhism over, Zen over from Japan, and held the lotus to the rock, because Zen is ever moving slowly westward. There in Tassajara, just south of San Francisco. Beautiful place. Never been there, didn't make it there. I did make it to Green Gulch, where I lived for a while, across the bay in Marin County, and as well as the Zen Center. And I worked at Tassajara Bakery. They gave me a job in the bakery because that's a whole nother story. Anyway, they were wonderful people. Very, very kind community. Lived very consciously. But boy, I'm telling you, that sitting in a Soto Zendo, you face the wall. Not Rinzai. Rinzai's another school where you put your back to the wall. And I thought I was getting into a Rinzai deal, you know, where we were going to be, man, getting those koans and pew, what's the sound of one hand clapping? There it is. Just did it. What is your face before your parents were born? All these coins, cool little things. Didn't do any of that, Soto. Soto says, look, it takes a while. Yeah, it happens. It can happen in a flash, just like they say in Rinzai. He dropped the bucket and he was enlightened. Wow, I like that. I said, how do you get enlightened? That's what I would go around asking all these monks. These are formal monks, shaved heads, and Zen robes, and all of that. Well, you know, I mean, these were Americans walking around like that. I said, boy, they gotta know something. Man, I looked like a galoot from Alabama, and I was a galoot from Alabama. But oh, I should tell you a little bit about that. Shit. When I got to San Francisco with Bilbo Baggins, that's the only name I knew him by. We drove down in his car, the Gizmoid, from Seattle, backing up. I had been in Southeast Alaska, Ketchikan and Sitka, salmon fishermen, so I came down on the Seago and Tug, pulling a barge through the beautiful coastline of British Columbia along the west coast, down to Seattle, and landed in the bar. Blue Moon Cafe. Yeah, I looked it up. It is a play. I still remembered it. I lost my journal from that time. I keep these journals. So when I arrived in San Francisco with Bilbo, Bilbo turned out to be an itinerant acid dealer for a guy named Sleepy, who had a lab in Berkeley. So Bilbo would travel around with these sheets of little teeny tiny squares of blotter acid, really good acid, my hallucinogenic phase. And I told him I'd gone down to Seattle because I heard when I was up in Ketchikan, hey man, you can make a lot of money. Just go down to Seattle and harvest all those Boletus and Liberty caps, and make a lot of money. Plus, it's cool, you know. You're harvesting hallucinogenic mushrooms, medicine for the shamans. So, I never found any mushrooms. I told Bilbo there in the Blue Moon, and Bilbo, boy, what an entrance he made. Wearing a top hat, like a Mad Hatter top hat, a cape, a girl on each arm. He swept into the Blue Moon, and boy, he made an entrance. Came and sat right next to me at the bar. Took a look down and said, "Oh, you are a ring bearer." He looked at my ring that I had made from the gold, a little bit of gold nuggets and extra gold there in, that I was gold mining before I went to Sitka, when I went to Alaska, because I was there with my friend Dent, backing up. Dent I met in Seal, Alabama. He was a genius. He also was a micrologist. I think that's what they call it. I mean, he was a mushroom expert. He could find, he took me finding beautiful 5,000-year-old arrowheads. He knew where to look. I'm not going to tell you how to find them. Not here, not now. But Dent told me. We used to find them all the time. Right there in Alabama. On the Flint River. Goes down between Alabama and Georgia. took a ride down that Flint River, wrote a story about it one time. And so Dent says, come on up to Fort St. James. Yeah, I got a placer mine up there. Man, we do a little gold mining. I said, shoot, man. So I rode with Al. Al's another story. He looks like an Indian with black pigtails coming there. We rode in his old beat up Cutlass that leaked gas into the thing. We only had the windows down the whole time. No fucking radio. All the way across from Columbus, Georgia, down through Mobile, New Orleans, across I-10, down into the Big Bend National Park, where we swam across the Rio Grande and copped a bunch of Liberty caps. No, not Liberty caps. Peyote. Little mushrooms. They're hard to find, man. I mean, they're there, but they're hard to find. So just like I did in years later in Seattle, it was 1980, I landed there. Bilbo took me to meet Mushroom John. And Mushroom John, you know, I can't remember what he looked like, but when I saw Gollum, you know, Sméagol from Lord of the Rings, it reminded me of Mushroom John. This guy could be walking along and he could find mushrooms where nobody was supposed to find them. He'd walk down the street in Seattle and find, I said, how do you do that? He said, well, they sing to me. You got to be tuned. So Mushroom John was also, I mean, he wrote monographs on mushrooms and things like that, but he pulls out a whole pan of drying out psilocybin mushrooms. Said, hey, I can just give you some here. I mean, for a nominal price. So boom. Yeah, I was flush with all that salmon fishing money from Alaska. So I bought, I don't know, like a pound of dried mushroom. That's a lot. Well, we used it all up on the ride down to San Francisco. Bilbo knew everybody, a place in Drain, Oregon, I think the name of it was. You know, it was a little hippie commune. And I remember there was one cat there, had two girls, and, you know, they were just loving on him. Anyway, I gave all the mushrooms away on the way down. Yeah. Didn't make a dime. Landed in San Francisco on my birthday. Actually on Halloween. My birthday's on All Hallows Day. Just turning 30. About to right in the middle of the Saturn cycle, from age 27 to age 33, I believe the astrologers say is the Saturn cycle. It's a rough age. Well, my children went through it. I went through it. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, they opted out right at the beginning of the Saturn cycle. All of them died when they were 27 years old. But before they left, they gave us what they came to give us. So you die when you need to, Chara used to say. Like old Jonathan Livingston Seagull said, well, he didn't say this, I'm going to get to that. You know, we live as long as we need to. We have work we took birth for. And this work is what we were born to do. It's why we We came here. We have to finish something. We gotta move on. Well, I don't know about you and your work, but I know my work ain't done. Why? Still here. So I got something left I gotta finish. Almost finished. Almost. But not quite. 74 years up and down and to and fro. Now I finally feel like I'm getting around to it. Around to it. This is where are you? Where did I put you? Yeah, he's down there. The real pipe, the main guy, with the red rock and the father and the deer. He's a beautiful man. He's hiding right now. He doesn't want to be shown. Abalone shell with the sagebrush so I can smudge. So that's the direction I'm facing now is the north. It is the place of testing. It is white. The color of the north is white, like the snows. Like the white buffalo, which I believe is the animal of the north. That direction is the east. The gold. White path. Where we all come from. And then there's a place for you in this pipe. A place for you in this pipe. And a place for the south behind me in this pipe. The south is green. And I don't know, maybe that's the mouse. That's the animal. Little small things. Close seeing is the gift of the south. Far seeing is the gift of one of the other directions. It's a place of summer. Big in here in New Orleans. And then over to the west. The west is the best, sang Jim Morrison. And don't forget the heaven up, northwest, east, south, the news, and the earth, the mother. There's a place for all of you in this pipe. Right there, this little pipe. Father shines down right through the Sahasrara, crown chakra. Mother rises up through the Muladhara, the root chakra. You can feel that power. I invite you and thank you. Join me, and I honor you. I think that's about long enough. Going on 40 minutes here, just about 6 seconds. So I'm gonna hit that button right now. See you later, alligator. After all, crocodile. Not too soon, baboon. Understand, rubber band? Know what you mean, jelly bean. See you later.